Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, another game, another you, another me. We are watching some Age Mythology retold today with two amazing top-level players here in the top of the map. We do have, in the blue color, playing as Oranos. It is Zucht. Zucht, the bad boy. And his opponent today, in the red color, playing as Fushi. His name is Chasing the Sun. So we got ourselves Chasing the Sun back on his pride and joy, back on his Chinese mammoth. He was one of the dark horses to some degree of the Mythic Wars tournament, and he definitely gave me a bit of a shook when he came and dominated me in our Mythic Wars battle. But yeah, he's definitely a Chinese player, and he's got a lot of that down. So excited to see how he's going to go here, but he is up against Zucht, and Zucht is no pushover. He's a very, very strong player in his own right. He's obviously an Atlantean main, actually, though a Gaia main at heart. But any Gaia main knows how to play some Oranos, because Oranos is basically Gaia on steroids, right? That's what the Gaia players say whenever a Gaia main moves from Gaia to Oranos. They're like, holy, this god is insane. Why? Well, you get this god power called Shockwave, which allows you a lot of advantage in a game of Age Mythology. But we'll see how it's going to go here for Zucht, as he is up against Fushi in a relatively difficult matchup. Part of what makes this matchup difficult is, well, first and foremost, you don't really have access to myth unit spamming in the classical age, which you can use to, say, maybe overwhelm a Noir or maybe even a Shenong, depending on how the game's going. Reason being is you've got that Najar, who is, well, he's the kid, and he will come and make your life very, very upsetting. Nonetheless, beyond all of that, the Chinese army also seems incredibly powerful, specifically the infantry army, or the barracks army. You've got, when you ignore the ballet a little bit in this one. So, for example, if you go in for Dao Swordsman, you get Halberdier, you get Javelineers, and you get Fire Archers, depending on what your opponent's making, obviously. It can be very, very difficult for an Oranos to actually find advantages. Now, if we take some relics here, there's the Ankh of Ra. We do see one that has picked up this relic, which is the Tier Fing Arrogant Tier Sword. That's actually a really, really big relic there for Zucht if he's going to go the wayside of making a whole bunch of heroes. I should also flip this. And there's also the Feather of Bafang over here, which makes the buildings take a little bit more damage from those human units. Chasing the Sun here at the moment hasn't even grabbed himself his technology. He's just trying to claim as many goats as he possibly can. And we'll see how he's going to go. He's going through Zhennu. And this one here, the big thing that I think I enjoy when playing as Fushi and going this god is that you can get this technology, Divine Books, which, while you can grab this as well with Noir, with Fushi, it comes in like this, so it doesn't waste any time. And then you can quickly grab yourself the attachments, and you can easily go from, say, 1 or 2 military buildings up to the equivalent of 4 without needing to build anything extra. So if you miss macro, or even if you don't miss macro, you're macroing perfectly, you don't have to then add those extra buildings down, so it saves you a lot of resources. And Chasing the Sun going to be dropping his Imperial Academy down. Up onto the top, it is obviously Oceanus here for Zucht. Like I said, going for Prometheus. Unless you're going for a boomy approach, doesn't make the most sense. So that Oceanus is going to allow him to play a bit of a classical age. He's got the Carnivora to help him out in fights. He's also got that Caladria to help heal up some units here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him building multiple Caladria in this game. As the Chillin coming through here now for Chasing the Sun, he's going to start bashing down the tower. He's a cheeky little oracle coming through for Zucht to say, "Excuse you, please vacate the premises." But where did the big bad Caladria go? He's scouting out, making sure he sees what's coming for him, and it is going to be a machine workshop up first for Chasing the Sun. There's not really any problems with going this, but he definitely needs both of them. At the moment, he's looking like he's going for Chillin spammage plus the Fire Archers, which isn't a terrible idea. That being said, Zook just throwing away an Oracle here. Not ideal. There is a Caladria there helping out with a bit of a heal, so he might be able to keep that one alive. Though it's going to be a tricky one. Looks like he will be able to get back here. Keeps the Oracle alive. No harm done. No foul. Everything going so far well for Zook, but he's now moving over onto this side. And now, while I'm saying that I think that the Fushi has got the stronger army here in the classical age, that doesn't necessarily mean much. Because Zook does not need to fight the Chinese player. Zook just got the speed. He's got those 5-speed Terma, 5-speed Murmilla when he gets that upgrade. He's also got the sky passages, so he can teleport around. Now, on this side, Chasing the Sun hasn't spotted this, but he's close. So the problem here is if you're going to try and raid with the Chillin, these units are going to pop through the sky passage and be able to defend. No problems, and the villagers can just pop into the sky passage for the time being, pop over here, eat some chickens, and pop back, and it's totally fine. Is it still possible to disable by picking the cherry blossom tree? Yes. If your opponent puts the cherry blossom tree out in the middle of nowhere, if it's not attached to a building, this is how you make sure that your opponent can't steal it. You put it next to a building. As we do see the Chillin over here says g'day. But if you put it there, then your opponent can't steal it. But if you put it out in the middle of nowhere, you can come forward, steal it, grab it for a second, and that'll disable the generation of more resources. So if you want to disable this, you have to like basically break in, knock this building down, probably also this one, and maybe even the tower as well to be able to actually steal that. Anyways, the Chillin's coming back over here. Zook does have some Murmillos. Ready to defend. Doesn't have any heroes, though, at the moment. As these Terma are just searching around. Still haven't seen Chasing the Sun building any real Javelineers here, which is a little bit interesting as the Citizen for Zook getting pushed back. Najar raids going to be painful. Chasing the Sun is a really, really quick player in my experience, but he does get caught out here. One villager going down. A second one going to be going down here, it looks like, as the Terma in hot pursuit. And this sky passage does end up getting broken down. Not ideal there for Zook, but he gets some villager kills for it. Doesn't lose anything. He's straight onto the chicken. You can move forward onto like some boars here or something like that as the Najar taking a bit of a beating from the Hero Murmillo. A rare little moment here where Najar is actually able to get, not chased down. Well, actually could get chased down if you have Empyrean Speed, but nonetheless, Empyrean Speed now coming through. The Chillin numbers starting to grow. There's 3 in this army now. 4 Chasing the Sun. And here's the good thing for Zook. The good thing for Zook here is he can grab this technology, which he already has. And his Murmillos are going to be costing a lot less to heroize. That's the total cost right there that you're seeing on the screen. That's the total cost of a Murmillo plus a Murmillo hero upgrade. So, yeah, what is it? 55 food, 30 gold, and then take that off the top, and you get a lot of these Murmillos. So sniping one Chillin there is absolutely huge, but there are a lot of fire archers here as well, which can take those Murmillos out quickly. So Chasing the Sun's going to be a little bit careful. He does have access to Vanish, which I think is going to be a really, really important counter to a Shockwave, potentially, because one idea here would be Zook charges forward, use a Shockwave onto this army. You vanish the Shockwave, sort of spam, click away, get back into position, and then pop back out and actually take the fight without any real problems as the Terma charging through. There are a handful of Javelineers here, but this is a difficult army to control. You've got the problem here, and this is my problem as well, is when you're clicking on archers, I want to click on my archers to get my counter archers, but I click here to select both the fire archers and the Wuzu Javelineer. So you have to actually click, and then control group, and that's like actually probably the right way to go about it at the moment to make sure you've got all your units able to be selected there, but quickly. Or you can do it the long way where you just do this every single time, and that also sort of works as he does snipe one unit there, Chasing the Sun. kind of caught out as Zook's using his range nicely. Picking off another unit there. Every single one of those fire archers that he's sniping here is really, really important. He doesn't need to care too much about the Wuzu Javelineer. If he can make the fire archer numbers sort of dissipate a little bit, then that's going to allow his Murmillos, but more specifically his Murmillo heroes, to get in and get some serious damage done. Meanwhile, another technology that Chasing the Sun has not yet been able to afford, as he's spamming out Chillin, he's got the Chillin upgrade as well, is this one. Let's just take a little look-see here. Reincarnation. So every 5 units that die, you get an extra one. It's over the course of a game, especially a game that's going this way, is very, very bloodthirsty. Like, you get so many resources back from constant fighting. And that's the way that this game seems to be approaching. Nonetheless, Zooked searching with the Terma. I just managed to spot a cheeky little Oracle over onto that side. Now, Zook does have 3 out, so he did build an extra on. Pops forward, gets a snipe. Almost loses a Terma hero there for it, though. That's the danger. If Chasing the Sun controlled, there he gets that Terma hero back there as well. If Chasing the Sun was controlling this a little bit better and separating the Javelineer, you can kind of run at the Terma, and it sort of works there. But nonetheless, hero Murmillos slowly starting to accumulate here as the Terma chasing this down. But those Chillin can just turn, use that special. That's a huge amount of damage to come in onto those units. There's snipes, 2 Terma, and Zook's got to start thinking, ooh, maybe this is not the right idea, trying to get in with those. Now, the other thing you could try, though, with the Terma is going for raids. Or you could go for raids with the Hero Murmillos. That's totally fine as well. 11 Hero Murmillos at 5.3 speed. You can imagine running in and hitting this, hitting this, hitting this. Obviously, the army sees, so you can't attack that. The gold mine here, just any amount of raids like that. Jump through the sky passage here, go into this one, pop out down here, run through, and then run onto the wood line as an idea, while also having another sky passage elsewhere for your villagers to run to, as we do see a cheeky little Dao swordsman trying to get something done here. The army of Chasing the Sun, though, is looking incredibly scary. He's up to 155 population. Probably would be worthwhile here for Zooked to actually get himself some Karabalis there. He's popping it onto the side, snipes a fire archer there, pulls back, trying to attack it onto the front. The fire archers are still out in very, very heavy numbers, and Zooked, he knows he can't take this fight. These citizens have to pull away from the gold mine. There's no way to get into that sky passage over onto the other side. He's looking to take this attack right now as the Carnivora gets dropped down, but also drops a shockwave as well. Both the Chillins on the front, or the Chillins on the back here, are actually not going to be going down just yet. The Fire Archers actually targeting down Caladria here, not what they're supposed to be doing. That's going to be a huge amount of an edge there for Zook to actually win this fight. Though the Dao Swordsmen here, they don't have any medium upgrades, but the numbers, it seems, for Chasing the Sun seem to be just that little bit too much for Zook. However, the Chillin numbers are broken down, and Zook can now start playing a little game of run away. Run from the left to the right, putting sky passage. He doesn't need this middle sky passage here anymore. He's got a citizen over here, so he can delete this one. He can put one over here, or over in this corner here, for example. We are seeing walls now starting to come up for Chasing the Sun. This is very, very important as well. And I think the main thing that went wrong there for Zooked, if I had to take a guess, is probably that Carnivora followed by the Shockwave. You don't really want to Shockwave the units away from the Carnivora, which is kind of what happened there. You want to let the Carnivora get the damage done and then maybe Shockwave a little bit later, and or even just try and Shockwave those Fire Archers sort of into your Terma or whatever, so you can actually take those out. But nonetheless, some decent damage done here. The citizen over here has been pulled back, didn't run into the corner here, and we are actually seeing Chasing the Sun. He's being very smart. He's searching. He is searching for all this. The citizen over here does spot the villager getting a cheeky little wall up over here, and it's a long, long walk to get over onto this side. And this is the thing. Even though Chasing the Sun gets an army kill, he's won one fight. That doesn't really mean anything. I love these watchtowers as well up for chasing the sun. Really, really smart. Keeping those villages that are normally super riskily placed. They're very, very safe now. But yeah, this game just goes on because you can't kill off the Oranos very easily. He's going to be able to do a lot of slimy shenanigans to keep himself going as he's charging into the main base right now with those Terma. There's no crenellations at the moment, so Zook is feeling okay about making this dive here. But Chasing the Sun sees this. He's coming back with those Dow. Doesn't have a whole lot of Javelineers in here. However, Zook needs to pull back. Does pull over onto this side. We'll pick off a villager or two maybe underneath the towers. One villager goes down as more Murmillers coming through. But that's a good trade there for Chasing the Sun. Anytime you lose 2 Murmillers for 1 villager, that's good. That's starting to make those watchtowers pay for themselves in spades. As Zook pulling up onto this spot. He is looking to try and get next stage. Golmang is already in, though, for Chasing the Sun. I'm not sure I actually like this choice from Chasing the Sun. He's already got himself out 21 Dow Swordsman. Why not go... Oh, he doesn't have it. That's why. Never mind. I was like, why not go for the other one where you get the Dow upgrades? But he's playing Fushi. So he has to go... Well, he could go for the one that gives him bonus on the fire archers. He's only got 5 of those, though. So I guess he really wants to go into some cavalry at the moment as crenellations will come through. The Terma managed to spot this villager. But this is dangerous. There is an escape over here, though, as the citizen coming forward, potentially looking for some sort of a sky passage or something. Hyperion now on the way for Zook as Chasing the Sun. Currently chasing the Terma here with his Tao Wu up onto the top, though. A couple of Kari Ballista out, much needed. Murmillos as well, as this villager does get spotted and going to be retreating. The thing that Zook really needs, and I probably is going to go for it now, is just a citizen over here and a sky passage in this corner, so that if this army decides to clash in over here, I don't think Zook can really win this fight unless he has Chaos, which he's going to have momentarily. But now we see that reincarnation coming through. All of a sudden, the army of Chasing the Sun is going to be getting a lot more value because every single one of these... How many units is here? So there's probably something like 6-7 units back if he loses them all. So it's a lot of extra resources for that technology there. As Zook is going to be looking for an engagement. He does have Chaos now, basically. So this is going to be a little bit difficult. Now, one counter to Chaos is actually using Vanish on the army. So Chaos isn't really a very good god power in this specific situation. Plus also I think the Vanish is cheaper than the Chaos as well. So you can just use it to counter it just completely. Like every single time. Every single time. Nonetheless, Heroic Renewal coming through. We've got the Murmillo Heroes as well. Now the Palace coming up for Zook. As some White Horse Cavalry are out, and they're going to be searching for a little something to raid. But the Hero Murmillo numbers starting to come through. And with Heroic Renewal, all of a sudden, this army is absolutely terrifying. The entirety of this game is flipped at the moment. Absolutely flipped. As Zook's going to be attempting to take this fight. There's not that many fire archers here. This is definitely a fight which Zook can take. He drops the Chaos. Will we see the Vanish? There's that Vanish. He retreats, gets everyone out of there. There's a couple of units that, for whatever reason, decided they would prefer to attack instead of running away there and sort of exposing their location. However, Chasing the Sun to pull back to his ballet. He does have forest protection here, which he probably should be dropping on this spot. He pops back out, ready to take some more fights. There's also a palace up onto the top here as well to help defend. As the fight continues along here, Shockwave onto that back line. Well, it doesn't really do a huge amount because those Terma aren't really going to be doing anything to the front line. But that being said, he is fighting underneath the palace, and that's a huge amount of bonus damage there for Zook in this fight. The Hero Murmillos doing work at the moment as they're charging in to try and take out those chilling. Chasing the Sun, so good at controlling them. However, he doesn't pull them all the way back. Those Murmillo heroes are very, very quick there, sniping another one. And all of a sudden, Chasing the Sun needs to pull back. And Zook's heavy Kyro Ballista going to be doing work here as well. There's no access to that divine judgment or whatever it's called, the shield thing from... I'm just blanking on names. What is it called? What is this guy called? Rushol. That's right. My brain just stopped working. There's no shield there from that Rushol. So they're sitting at a lower, even though he's got 37% pierce arm. That's because he's got the regular armory upgrades. But yeah, he's not going to have that survivability against pierce here. So Kyro Ballista are a really, really good unit to be building. As up onto the top side, White Horse Cavalry trying to snipe a couple of Terma here. They do a lot of damage to those Terma, but they are getting caught out. There's the White Horse Cavalry pulling away. And a town center now for Zookt. Realistically, the way that I see it is the only reason to go... There's two options here in terms of what Zookt can do with these resources. He could either sit on it and try and get to the Mythic Age and then drop a Tartarian Gate, or he could just go for town centers. And considering the way that he's playing, I don't think he needs to go to the Mythic Age because he's got access to the Heroic Renewal, which means excess resources, and it probably should just be going into heroes rather than going to the next age. You might go, but boy, that's really expensive. And I'd say, yeah, it is expensive, but it's so worth it because you're just getting so much HP back. Every single little bit of HP here on this unit. Take a look at, if you take just a look at the resources, it's something like 135 resources or something on this Murmillo. So it's almost one resource per HP back, right? That's it's almost. So it's kind of a big deal. So you can just keep on heroizing them and keep on taking little engagements. As long as you don't lose the units too quickly, you're going to be getting that value rather than going to the Mythic Age, that is. So he can think about grabbing the third town center here. He has got the third town center up the top. Chasing the Sun hasn't gotten a single second town center, though he does still have the Peach Blossom Spring. So all of a sudden, these villages here, these 15-ish population of villages, plus these ones as well, they're going to be working overtime. So working at twice the speed, right? Take a look at this guy. I want to show you. This is 1.31. This guy's 4.91 gold per second. So it is a lot of resources to come through there for Chasing the Sun. So we'll see if he's actually going to try and get to the Mythic Age. Generally, the scariest part about playing against China is when they get those heroes out. But I like the position that Zook's in. He's just got to strangle a little bit here. Get in here, maybe put a palace down onto this spot. Get over and put a palace over to here. Make sure all of his units are getting heroized. There's a lot of gold in the bank at the moment. Some sky passages forward here and over here, so he can easily teleport through and deal with any sort of White Horse Cavalry raids as well. Wouldn't go astray. Citizens to pull back for the time being, though, as this town center is under threat. There is the sky passage here, so you can easily jump through there and defend that. A couple of catapulties over here with the Murmillos as well, as some citizens getting caught out. Thank you for the raid, Hagrid. Hope your pursuit to working out how OP Great Wall, Earth Wall is a successful one. All right, heavy White Horse Cavalry coming in. More raids. Check your little Oracle heroes out in the open there to get sniped. As the citizen going to pull into the town center, they're all good to go. White Horse Cavalry pulling back in as well, and Zookt looks like he says it's time for a Mythic Age. And this is actually an interesting call. He is going Helios, and this is what he can do with Helios. You can dodge. You can dodge the Great Flood. You can dodge the tsunami. You can dodge that wave, that tidal wave, with that vortex. So instead of going for like a killing blow with Tartarian Gate or something, he's thinking, well, I don't want to lose my units. So if I get swept away, then I can just vortex out of it, no problems, and we're still in a good spot. Are Hyperion Murmillo better than Hyperion Fanatics? Do they actually have more HP? Surely not. I don't believe that. Hang on. 258. 208. 169. 19. No, the Fanatics have got more HP, right? Anyways. We are going to be seeing Gong Gong coming through, so I'm excited to see if Zook is going to be able to get this dodge from coming in. They are 3-pop Fanatics, that's true. I mean, they might be. Mostly I prefer to build the Destroyer over the Fanatic at the moment. I think the Destroyer is really, really good. Super good unit to have in your army for sure. Or off on a side attack somewhere. Nonetheless, the Destroyers here, they could easily just take down this position. There is an opportunity to maybe get an Oracle over here so he's got that vision to just teleport into the main base whenever he wants. But he's just going to be pestering away at this gold mine. The problem here for Chasing the Sun is he's still only on one town center, and that chaos there, not saving up for the secondary vanish, going to be a little bit of a problem. Shockwave on the retreat there as well, losing even more resources. As Chasing the Sun's got no option other than just turn around and take this fight. Gong Gong about to hit. The Destroyer's moving away. And surely it's going to be a Vortex here. Does he click it? I've never been more disappointed. I've never been more disappointed. He doesn't really lose much, to be completely honest, because there wasn't that many units there. Generally, it's the combination of an army plus potentially forest protection and the tidal wave and the Great Flood is the big army killer. But in this situation, there wasn't really an army there, so he didn't really get much done. But I still wanted to see the dodge. I wanted to see the dodge. Anyways, as we continue our pursuit to try and work out why Oranos is the best god in the game, we have yet again proved that it's the case, as Zook claims a dub over Chasing the Sun's Fushi in dominating fashion here. There was one little hiccup where I think Zook just took a fight that just wasn't that good for him. But given the fact that he can just sort of delay and keep his economy going, he's able to rebuild. And I don't know exactly why Chasing the Sun was... I think Chasing the Sun here, he got to the heroic age a lot faster, but he didn't really get anything done with it. And I think a lot of that actually did just come down to the fact that he didn't need to go heroic age. I think this is maybe something interesting, is like, when should I go heroic age? When should I stay classical age? In a situation like this, for Chasing the Sun, it doesn't unlock anything in the heroic age. I'm actually intrigued. Does he have armory upgrades as well? He's only got copper shields. So one thing he could have tried as a completely different way to play around this is to have won that fight, if that was to happen, and then just drop a town center and then just keep fighting in the classical age, running around and just doing things. And then later you go to the heroic age, then you put your ballets down. Now you get your White Horse cavalry out. But realistically, against a Oceanus Oranos who's got weightless mace catapulties as well, do you really want to be going for cavalry? Answer is probably no. Anyways, a well-played game from Zook. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next game.